Alright, introduction. Purpose of the dispatcher communications training. Railroad dispatcher communication training materials. Purpose of the dispatcher communication training. The purpose of the training is to help participants recognize the importance of communication of the railroad dispatching environment, assess their own communication listening memory skills, identify strategy for the improvement of their own communication listening and memory. Training package was developed to provide flexibility development and training sessions related to the railroad dispatcher communications. Each topic is self-contained, allowing you to select topics relevant to the needs of your facility. However, the topics are organized in recommended sequence. Each topic may be used as separate training sessions as a part of sessions comprising more than one topic. Topics contained in the training package may be used for initial proficiency training or for refresher training in specific areas. Training sessions require a minimum of 2 participants and an instructor. There are several participants enrolled in training sessions. They should be divided in a number of smaller groups. Optimal sizes for a small group is 4 participants. Maximum number of participants per session should not exceed 16 for groups for 4 participants each. Target population. Training package is designed to educate dispatcher trainees as well as experienced dispatchers wanting skill reinforcement. Training methods. Training uses active participative approach over the training. The focus is training in group process. Participant assisted by instructors take part in a variety of activities to accomplish specific goals and task instructor roles to help the participants accomplish training goals established for each topic. Answers are not provided. Several open-ended questions within this package. The instructor should accept the reasonable response from the group as there may be several correct responses. Training method used for the training program include analysis, discussion of case studies, audio tape-based and video-based exercises, group discussion, other interactive learning activities, assessment instruments for pre-test, formative assessment, summative tests, and course evaluation form. There are no lectures. Learning will occur only if individuals are actively involved in the training. Training content. The following table communication brief the description of railroad dispatcher communication training materials. Topic 1. Importance of railroad dispatcher communication. Review of importance of the dispatcher communication. Course pretest. Provides instructional indication group skill level predicator of progress 10 minutes. 2. Barriers of communication. Illustrate factors that can limit the effectiveness of the controller's communications 1.5 hours. Listening skills. Identify factors affecting listening effectiveness 1 hour. Memory skills. Introducing reviewing memory skills 1 hour. Railroad phraseology. Developing understanding railroad terms that have similar identical meaning 1.5 hour. Formative tests. Informal quizzes. Determine how to progress and summarize of the day. Common readback, hearback errors. Identify most common readback, hearback errors, possible ways errors that may be avoided. Identifying readback, hearback errors. Provide practice identifying readback, hearback errors. 8. Identifying multiple readback, hearback errors. Practice identifying multiple readback, hearback errors 1 hour. Identifying readback, hearback errors. Advanced exercise provides the additional practice identifying multiple readback, hearback errors when distractors are present. Summative tests and course evaluation, post-test and determined skills outcome participation questionnaire. Note the training times may vary greatly for one session to the next. Approximate time indicates each topic. The planning purposes factors can influence the length of the activity, including group size, group energy level, and instructor style, etc. You should avoid rushing through any activity in this group, but engage with the activity discussion. Better to eliminate activity than to rush to the group. Remember, various end times are to be expected. Alright, making the dispatcher communication training site specific. You should also take into account of facilities communication related needs and problems when planning a training session. Questions should consider include who is in your facility would benefit from this training, what type of communications related need of the problems have identified in your facility, you wish to examine some of the indicators, operational errors, grievances, or general work atmosphere to help determine what area the training emphasize, how you can integrate with this training with the ongoing training at your own facility, developing case study exercises. Sample exercise case study used on the training can altered and replaced with site-specific example. To develop a site-specific example case study, you should 1. Develop a list of situations where each the same points being addressed by the example of the case studies provided in this package. Note you may want to speak to a superintendent dispatch operations or a chief dispatcher to obtain actual examples. Select the situations that will best communicate the points you are trying to make. Modify the situation to protect your involved parties. A situation very familiar to the center staff obtaining permission from all involved parties and do not use it. Or or do not use it. Have Superintendent Dispatcher Operation Chief Dispatcher read the situation, make sure that they include all needed back information, clearly communicate the facts. Test your discussion question. Have several individual reads of the situations and see if they can answer the discussion questions. Preparation involves getting ready to instruct the training program. Some general preparation suggestions are presented below. Thoroughly review the training materials. Look for ways to tailor the activities to your local group. For example, you may wish to write additional questions to ask, local events to cite, and to problems situations to suggest. Topic 1, communication between two dispatcher audio video segment 1, course pretest segment 1, communication between irritable dispatcher and occupants in his territory audio only. Segment 1, communication between dispatcher upon using slang occupants in this territory audio only. Segment 2, communication between dispatcher who speaks quietly occupants in his territory audio only. Segment 3, communication between unuser dispatcher and occupants in his territory audio. Segment 4, communication between dispatcher who speaks rapidly and occupants in his territory audio only. Segment 5, communication between repetitive dispatcher and occupants in his territory audio only. Segment 6, communication between dispatcher who speaks rapidly, presents too much information, single transmission, occupants in his territory audio only. Segment 7, narrative with a distracting noise audio only. Segment 1, narrative with a fast speaker audio only. Narrative with a two-speaker audio only. Segment 3, narrative with a monotone speaker audio only. Segment 4, exercise 4, memory exercise listening only. Memory exercise repetition. Segment 2, memory exercise tactical. Segment 3, memorize exercise summative. Segment 4. 7, dispatcher communication audio only. Segment 1, dispatcher communications audio only. Segment 2, 9, dispatcher communication audio only. Segment 1, 9, dispatcher communication with locomotive footage audio or video. Segment 1, dispatcher communication with wildlife footage audio or video. Segment 2, dispatcher communication bingo numbers audio, video, and summative test. Introduction. Preview the railroad dispatcher communication video prior to training. Write down the counter number times for each stop of the segment in the table over the previous page. Doing so will help easily find the segments when you're ready for them. Be sure that the videotape is rewound and the counter is set to 0 before queuing a topic. Preparing a training room. Arrange table configuration that allows the group interaction. Semicircle U-shape setup that permits with a flip chart. At the open end is a good large group brainstorming. Round tables are good for small group brainstorming and writing. All time for room preparation before training begins. Obtain equipment and supplies. Check location electrical outlets to ensure that the VCR can be set up in a good location, good extension cords. If necessary, have copies made of handouts, other training materials. Opening of the training. Planning and activity. Opening of the training. And purpose activity is to get acquainted with the loosen up of the group and to get ready for the activity that follows. Lightly approach helps us of the relaxed tone. You may wish to include the following opening to your training. Introduction. Yourself, the participants, and observers. Overview of the purpose of the training session. Schedule included breaks. Explanation of your role. Discussion. Participation's role. Conduct of the training. Following our tips carrying out the role of the facilitator. General suggestion. Do not read lecture to the group. The package of the guide is not your script. The flexibility is a key to success. Make yourself part of the group. Do not separate yourself physically from the group or standing behind a podium, overhead projector, or table. Remember that you are working with adults. Involved participant planning, decision-making, problem-solving, value of the resource of the beginning to the group. Encourage them to share their experience and knowledge, ideas. Observe how the group works together. Who participants have the most, who participants at the least, and do certain participants try to dominate? Do anyone withdraw? Do not go too long without a break. A general rule, groups need a break every hour or about 10 minutes. You will need to adjust time breaks with what is going on in the group. Use each group to facilitate a reach over to the next group to incorporate information contained in the course evaluation form of the prior training series sessions. Do not be afraid to revise the topic or your approach. On each topic, by present purpose of the goals of the unit, close each topic recapping the skill of the lessons learned, leading discussions. An open-ended discussion will draw all key points from the group and avoid using yes or no questions. Encourage participation for all members of the group. Do not force responses by putting someone on the spot. Give positive feedback from the form of the verbal praise, good suggestion. This will encourage further participation from all the group members. Do not allow one or two participants to dominate the group. And if this occurs, you should inform the group that they would like to hear everyone to have to say about the topic of the discussion. You can simply ask anyone else. Show that they're paying attention to each of the participants says. Be sure of the body language, posture, eye contact, non-tractable facial expressions in response to indicate that you are listening. It may be useful at the time to summarize key points covered by the participants using a flip chart. Position of the flip chart for everyone to see it. Stand by the side of the while listening to the next speaker, but do not talk with your back to the group that is facing the flip chart for the recording. Respond with the flip chart. Record all responses. Make it easy to read. Use a few words as possible to get approval of the participant before changing the word. Writing in large letters at least 1.5 inches high. Leave it about 2 inches between the lines. Different colors. Responses aids legibility. High keywords. Circle boxes. Arrows and underlining. Limited the amount you put on one sheet. Course evaluation. Student and course evaluation provided summative tests and course evaluation recommendations for use of the form in conjunction with the course assessment instructions is provided in a later section. Topic 1. Importance of the railroad dispatcher communications.